When I saw him disappear down that well, I wept, thinking he would never come back. Although I didn't understand it at the time, I now know that there was never enough money. After paying the rent and the salaries, there was not much left for food, so we often had little for dinner. But the school has been my father's dream, and we were all happy to be living it. When it was finally time for me to go to classes, I was so excited I could hardly contain myself. You could say I grew up in a school. The school was my world, and my world was the school. Chapter 2. Dreams. Every spring and fall, during the holidays of Big Eid and Small Eid, my family visited one of my favorite places on earth, Shangla, the mountain village where my parents grew up. Waiting with presents for our relatives, embroidered shawls, boxes of rose and pistachio sweets, and medicines they couldn't get in the village. We'd go to the Mingora bus station and see just about everybody else in town all crowded together and waiting for the flying coach. We'd stack our gifts, along with the sacks of flour and sugar, blankets, and trunks that other families were taking, on top of the bus in a great towering pile. Then we all crammed inside for the 4-hour trip up winding, rugged roads to the mountains. For the first quarter of the journey, the road was a series of zigs and zags that followed the Squat River on one side and hugged sheer cliffs on the other. My brothers took great pleasure in pointing out the wreckage of vehicles that had fallen into the valley below. The flying coach would climb higher and higher until the air turned cool and crisp. Eventually, we saw nothing but mountain after mountain. Mountain, 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 and just a sliver of sky. Many of the people in Shangla were very poor and did not have modern facilities, such as hospitals and markets. But our family always put on a huge feast for us when we arrived. A feast that was especially welcome at Small Eid, which marks the end of a month of daytime fasting for Ramadan. There were bowls of chicken and rice, spinach and lamb, big crunchy apples, pretty yellow cakes, and big kettles of sweet milky tea. Even when I was only 7 or 8, I was considered a sophisticated city girl, and sometimes my cousins teased me because I didn't like to go barefoot, and I wore clothes bought at the bazaar, not handmade like theirs. I had a city accent and spoke city slang, so they thought I was very modern. If only they knew. People from real cities like Peshawar or Islamabad would have thought me very backward. When I was in the village